going to try something a little different as our starting point here. I'm going to wait to actually do the introduction until I get Instagram running so that we get the whole introduction. And wouldn't that just be lovely? It takes about, 30 seconds for Instagram to catch up to us. So, yeah, we're just going to have to wait for a couple seconds.
Oh, while we're waiting for those 30 seconds, I'll be right back.
Okay, cool. Cora's going to be back. Welcome in. We'll do our intro in a moment here. Ooh. I'm sitting in a warm garage right now, and it's kind of nice because I've got a whole bunch of fans hitting me, and it just feels nice, lovely, wonderful. Come on, Insta, let us... Oh, sweet. Okay. Here we go, and we are live on all the things. All the things. Very exciting. So welcome one and all to Just Massage Therapist podcast, where Cora and I are here talking about things. We are just massage therapists. We're just women. We're just business owners. We're just wives. We're just mothers. We're just a whole crap ton of things. At the end of the day, these are just our opinions, and we are just massage therapists, spouting off what we think to the world. Last week, we kind of had a false start, so you will not see what we had posted last week. Maybe we'll do a blooper reel one day. But you will not see what we posted or what we did last week. So if you were here with us, phenomenal. Thanks for joining. We're going to restart today with a new start to the Vagus Nerve because we, honestly, my stuff was just messed up last week. I tried a new location and it didn't work so well. So here we go. This is fantastic. Once again, for any of you who are on YouTube, I can see your chats. Instagram, I check them back and forth. I've got them up on another screen. Or I guess we can see the chats from YouTube. But if you are joining us from Twitch, we cannot see your comments, and our highest apologies. Maybe switch over to one of the other two. Like I said, eventually we will get onto Facebook, but we just have not gotten to that point. So, there we go. The Vagus Nerve! Miss Cora! We love the Vagus Nerve. We also kind of hate the Vagus... No, I'm just kidding. We do really enjoy the Vagus Nerve. And everything that it does, it's a little confusing sometimes, but everything that it does for us is phenomenal, and we wanted to talk about it and show it off and whatnot. So, as with last week, Cora, how would you like to get us started off with our wonderful vagus nerve, cranial nerve 10?
Well, the vagus nerve is cranial nerve number 10.
Inside joke, sorry guys. Inside joke for everybody from last week.
Yeah. Which we're gonna pretend like didn't happen because that's our blooper reels.
Yeah, it's a blooper. We'll get you bloopers one day. Look out for them.
One day, maybe. And it's responsible for our parasympathetic nervous system. So the vagus nerve is the nerve that we are wanting to stimulate as massage therapists, and the nerve that we also stimulate when we're doing things like meditation. It's really an interesting nerve to me because it innervates so many things that you wouldn't think one nerve could do. It's like a multi-purpose nerve, controlling everything from our heart rate to our digestive secretions to the pancreas. And when it is activated or when it's in its ideal state, everything is functioning the way it should be. But it doesn't take much to override that vagus nerve. As soon as a sympathetic response comes in or our fight or flight response, the vagus nerve kind of gets overridden. So depending on who you are, as far as the digestive system goes, that could look like anything from an upset stomach to constipation to diarrhea to nausea. That could be any and all the above. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We're going to let Chelsea talk about the vagus nerve a little bit, and then I can talk a little bit about how to kind of reset it and kind of bring it back.
I am so excited for that part. You know that? Like, we didn't get to that last week, so y'all are real lucky because she's going to actually get to it this week. And this week
No
I can actually
shenanigans.
show you all of the like stuff that I had prepared for you last week. This is very exciting. So we're going to go over here to the next scene, and I'm going to show you the parasympathetic motor division of the autonomic nervous system, so our rest and digest. And on here, what you're really able to see are all of the nerves that work with our parasympathetic division, which includes a few cranial nerves, right? The biggest one, of course, being the vagus nerve, cranial nerve 10. I almost said a wrong nerve. That was hilarious. So you'll notice that everything above the 10, right, that serves for parasympathetic motor. So our oculomotor nerve, our facial nerve, and our glossopharyngeal nerve. These guys work all in our head, in our face. It works in our lacrimal glands. It works in the tear ducts, which I realize I just said lacrimal glands, tear glands, and the ducts, everything there. It works inside of the eye to constrict our pupils because we don't have to see everything. Salivary glands, like all of that fun stuff are those three small little nerves. And then you've got this wonderful vagus nerve. Look at this bad boy. This guy comes all the way out, reaches all the way through to its effectors, what we call effectors, basically its organs, the organs and the blood vessels that it has an effect on. The heart being kind of the primary one that we talk about a lot, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when we talk about vagal tone. And then it also goes to the lungs and to the bronchi, so our windpipes, and our breathing tubes, and it constricts our breathing tubes, which allows it's just part of calming us down and not breathing as heavily. When we're in a fight or flight, they have to open up so we can get more oxygen. But we're in rest and digest, we don't need as much oxygen, so we constrict our windpipes. In the lungs, it relaxes all of the tone inside of the lungs and the what are called alveoli. Specifically the connection between our lung tissue, like alveoli, and our blood vessels that are in there, our capillary network there. Then it goes down to the liver, and it switches the liver. It's really quite fun because the liver has two different major functions. It has so many sub-functions under those two different major functions, but its two biggest functions is to release glucose when needed and send out signals other places to release glucose when we need it, when we're in our fight and flight. We need a lot of energy, so we need to get glucose out to the body, right? And then it has the other job of storing and sending out for permanent storage, or not permanent, but semi-permanent storage of the nutrients that come into our body, especially glucose, which is just a simple sugar. So in this state, rest and digest, it's in storage mode. Right? It's in storage mode, and alongside that same idea, down at the pancreas here, it's releasing insulin, and insulin is going to go and grab all the extra sugar that we have in our blood and store it as fast as it possibly can, basically, just to make sure that our blood sugar levels drop and don't stay at a super high level. In the stomach, it gets our stomach juices flowing, same with our intestines and like large and small intestines. It gets everything flowing again. It secretes all of the stuff you need, like the hydrochloric acid in your stomach and all the other ones that are coming out of the pancreas. So it's, again, going to the pancreas and sending out the enzymes and whatnot for digestion, including bicarbonate in the oh my gosh, I just lost the name of the first part of the small intestines. Duodenum. Duodenum? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Sorry there. My goodness. Well, yeah, the first part of the small intestines there helps to release stuff there to both balance out the hydrochloric acid so our intestines don't, get destroyed from the inside out, but also to send out perfect enzymes to break down more of our proteins and our carbohydrates. Our gallbladder is also going to be part of the mix, sending out bile to break down all of our fatty acids. It's just a phenomenal thing, and that's its major job. Major job is within all of these guys. Now we're going to urinary bladder as well. well as the sex organs, the cranial part, our parasympathetic motor. It's cranial sacral because it's coming out of cranial nerves. Are formulated around cranial sacral. Sorry, have you tried to say anything while I've been talking? Because
I just wanted to let you. I haven't been trying to say anything, but you are kind of freezing off and on.
No. Okay. Cool. Just making sure that I'm not.
It's about every like 10 to 15 seconds. There's kind of like a 3 or 4 second lull.
That's so weird. That makes me a little sad because that's what was happening last week too. Hold on, I'm gonna listen to myself. Just making sure that I'm not. Dang. Okay, well, while I still kind of have of stuff going on here, I just want to point out, and I'll let you take it from here, the vagal tone stuff. And I'm going to put the and looking at it, just recently starting to explore all the different ways that we can influence the vagal nerve and your HRV. And that heart rate variability basically is between your resting heart rate in your parasympathetic state or your resting state versus in your sympathetic state. So there's a big difference between the two of them. That's a good thing. That means that you have good vagal tone. Your vagus nerve is helping to bring you out of fight or flight well. If it's not as variable, right, so you have a lower variability in your heart rate, it has a tendency to mean that you're not getting taken out of your fight and flight very well. And they've been doing a lot of different studies, and you can check those out here. They have all the studies listed, right? So I would take a look at this website, which I'll put in the chat in a second here, just so that you have an opportunity to understand it a little bit. But like Cora was saying earlier, if there's something going on with your vagus nerve and it's not very well toned, if you have a low vagal tone, it can lead to some pretty uncomfortable things long term, like irritable bowel syndrome, neurological conditions, depression, anxiety, PTSD. And it can be a really nasty cycle with those things, specifically with depression, anxiety, and PTSD. Metabolic disorders like diabetes and other issues, especially with the heart. So that's what I wanted to make sure we got out there. I am going to put this website right in the chat there so that you have the opportunity to see it. Instagram as well. I will come and put it in your chat.
I find it very interesting that the vagus nerve is actually linked to diabetes and it also works with the heart rate. And glucose also. And both of those, when you think diabetes, we typically think obesity, right? And
especially when you think type 2.
And it is a direct relation to blood pressure and insulin production. So I just find that very interesting, a very interesting connection that I hope that they're utilizing to better understand diabetes in itself.
I really hope so too. That article also has a bunch of different ways that they are testing how to treat the vagus nerve.
That's awesome.
So, speaking of which,
yeah, so The vagus nerve is basically kind of regulated by kind of bringing us out of that parasympathetic nervous system. So it can be done by different ways. Massage is one of them. Cold water applications also. If you do cold water plunges, it kind of is going to bring you out of, initially it's going to be, oh my goodness, it's going to bring you into that initial sympathetic response, but then as our body does its thing, it's actually going to bring us into that parasympathetic response. So during periods of high stress, some people do this actually just intuitively. They just splash cold water on their face to kind of cool off. That's also regulating that vagus nerve.
Mm-hmm.
Which I find very interesting also, that we do these things instinctively. We don't even realize why we're doing them. We just do them. Another really good one, an exercise that I really actually love, is if you interlace your hands and just place them over the back of your head and just lean into them a little bit. Now, you don't want to like lean into them, but just rest your head against your hands, keeping your head straight. Turn your eyes to the right. Hold it for about 30 seconds. Take nice, deep diaphragmatic breaths. And then turn your eyes to the left. And again, hold it for about 30 seconds. And around this time, this is where you'll kind of start to notice a shift in your breathing, where that diaphragmatic breathing no longer feels like it's forced. And if you haven't been diaphragmatic breathing, that's kind of when you get that. Now, you don't want to turn your head. You want to make sure you're moving your eyes. Isn't it nice?
That is nice, except for my hand went numb because I still have that.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Another one that I absolutely love is actually tapping. If you were ever my student and things were getting crazy, like maybe we couldn't get into an exam, we did this. So to do the tapping, it's actually just it's like a distraction, but it also triggers that parasympathetic nervous system. So what you can do, I'm gonna take my glasses
Just do it to Jack right now.
I'm just gonna come in on your forehead and just lightly tap.
Same
Yep,
time or
together,
opposites?
Yeah. It's about like between about 15 seconds or so, 15 to 30. And then you're going to come over to the temples. And for me, this is where I always get that deep breath, but oh, there we go. Okay, and then we're going to come up over the zygomatic arch.
Oh, I feel like I needed this today.
It's nice, hey? And then over the nose, or just over the mouth, the top of the lip. Over your chin.
Which one?
Silly girl.
So I got the double.
You
So,
had me
you know.
thinking for a second, like, wait, we have more than one chin. And then you're going to come down just below the collarbones. Going to kind of trigger that thalamus. The thymus gland, sorry.
I'm like, is it thalamus? Play for real.
And if you haven't experienced a deep breath, this is where you will feel it. This is usually where that your shoulders start to drop. And then you're going to come just underneath your ribs and kind of do, when I do it with my boy, it's like, act like a monkey kind of thing.
Act like a monkey.
And that's tapping.
I love this.
Isn't it amazing?
Oh, it feels really nice.
It does, yeah.
I wonder, what if you added on the sacrum?
There are tapping techniques that are incorporated into the lower body also. Like there's a whole course designated to tapping, which I really want to explore and work on and just really delve into it because it's so fascinating. And it's something that I actually use with my clients a lot too, especially when we are doing myofascial release and they start to feel that emotional response. If they're not ready for it, or if they don't want to go there, I'll walk them through the tapping and I'll give it to them as part of their home care so that if something does surface in a place where they don't feel safe, they can take care of it with tapping.
Oh, that's smart. One of the things I do whenever I have an anxiety attack, like if I forget to take my meds or things are just overwhelming, it's this one.
Oh, yeah.
I do this one with the breathing and it always sort of brings me back. It's really, this is the part that's interesting to me because we didn't get into any of this stuff yesterday or last week, but when you think about the vagal nerve, it's a motor neuron, right? It's an autonomic motor neuron, and it's paired with its visceral, many visceral sensory receptors that come up through and into it as well. God, I miss that so much. You have no idea. Oh my gosh. The once or twice a week I get to actually hang out with you. Makes me happy. Gosh, where was I going? Oh, right. It's a motor nerve. So having a direct effect on it is almost not recommended because as soon as you have a direct effect, like literally tapping on the nerve itself, which number one, you can't do. It's way too deep. You literally cannot have a direct impact on that nerve physically with your fingers. You can have you can have an indirect impact on the nerve, but to impact a motor nerve means that you're going to cause neurogenic issues. Right? Regardless of if it's autonomic or, directly like compression, pushing, anything like that. So if that nerve actually gets harmed in any way, compressed in any way, it's going to go through the 3 stages of nerve compression and degeneration, right? Or 5 stages, depending on who you subscribe to, right? Because you've got, I can't remember, Sudan and I can never remember the second one. It's like Sutherland. Oh, it is Sutherland. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love that I remember these things. But if you subscribe to the first one, it's just 3 stages, and the third one just gets progressively worse. Whereas the Sutherland, it's stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of compression syndromes on nerves. Now, just because it's a motor nerve doesn't mean it can't go through a compression syndrome. And the motor parts of nerves are usually the parts that get affected first in any compression issue when it comes to a nerve. So you're going to have neurogenic issues where you're not getting the right amount of sensation, or not sensation, sorry. We're talking about a motor nerve, Chelsea, come on. You're not getting the right amount of innervation or action potentials. I'm looking for the lay term here.
Stimulation.
What is the lay term for action potentials? What did you say? Stimulation. Thank you. You're not going to get the right amount of stimulation because that nerve is being compressed. What I'm hoping all of the research is going to really bring up and show is that our effects are indirectly paving a better way for the vagus nerve, making sure that there isn't excess edema that's pressing on it in the interior spaces, because it's going through all of our interior spaces in order to get to the viscera it needs to get to. I mean, where do you think it's going through the diaphragm to get down to our guts? right? So anything that helps your diaphragm release is going to help your vagus nerve, because there won't be as much possibility of compression there. Anything that helps your connective tissue, especially deeper connective tissue and visceral connective tissue, is going to help your vagus nerve. So it's not that we're having a direct impact, and nor do I think we should have a physical direct impact on a autonomic motor nerve. Just put it out there. What I'm hoping is that more and more research comes out to show us the things that work to help unblock the paths for those to work better. It's more about clearing the way than it is about forcing anything.
And
at least that's my hope.
Well, and really that's what the body is, though, right? Like, you can't force a system. We try to force a system, anything. Like, we try to force it, but that's a very short-lived response if you even, and you won't get the desired effect. Like, I could tell you right now, every day at 3:00, we're having a video call and we're going to be at the gym. And then we're going to go for laps. We're going to do all this. And we're going to do it for 4 hours every day at 3:00. This is what's going to happen. You're going to tell me where to go and how to get there in not so many, maybe not so nice terms.
Many more terms.
Our body is very much the same in that. If we try to force a thing, it's going to retaliate. Like I always use the analogy of a 2-year-old, right? Like, what's familiar, what's safe, what's easy. We don't like change, but if you try to force us, we're going to have it. We're not going to do it either. You have to kind of coast, right? So there's always that reprimand, and then there is the correction. And that correction has to be a gentle nudge. And then all of a sudden, the body, like, just like a 2-year-old, oh, this is my idea. And then it's going to do its thing. So you just got to let the body think it's its idea. And then that's when you get lasting changes.
Lasting changes. And please hear those words. Lasting changes, not immediate changes. Right? Some of those changes might be immediate, but they will possibly end, right? Just like a fear response. If you respond out of fear, there's going to be change, but that change isn't going to be sustainable.
Right.
Fear is not sustainable in the body. It will break you down, literally break you down. You're not meant to have that much cortisol in your body at anyone or any length of time. For short periods of time, it will be good, but not for long periods of time. Adrenaline too. Although adrenaline a little bit better than cortisol.
Well, either way, those are designed to get you through something. You're not supposed to live there.
Nope, you're not supposed to live there. You're actually supposed to live in mostly a parasympathetic state. Right? It actually reminds me, it's so funny. And I'm sorry for some of the crass words that are going to come out right here, but I hit my elbow today. I don't remember what I was doing, but I know I hit it, and I hit it really hard. And because I've been thinking about this podcast, I've been paying so much attention to my body. And the first thing I noticed, my butthole puckered.
You weren't going to do anything.
Right? But here's the rub, right? I hit here, but the sympathetic, the fight or flight, affected all the way through my body. This right here, what nerve is this coming out of? What nerve root? This is in the cervical spine nerve root. Well, kind of T-spine as well, but like lower cervical, upper T-spine. This is T1 right here. This is C5 right here. Or C6 right here. This is C7 in the center. This is up here. But my butthole puckered. That's in my sacrum. Technically, it's coming out of your lumbar region, but it exits at the sacrum. That's a very large difference in area that, like, for a nerve. That's a long ways to go all the way up, to go all the way down, to go all the way out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I know my heart is pumping harder. I know that my eyes would have dilated a little bit because I was in pain. And that wonderful vagus nerve does the majority of the work to get us back to the state we're supposed to be in, which is resting state. All right. Sorry about the whole butthole pucker. That was kind of, it was funny.
There are worse things
What
to
I-
say than a butthole pucker.
It did.
You said that. I was like, your pudendal nerve got triggered.
Yep. My pudendal nerve.
Pudendal nerve.
Which, oh my God. Sorry.
ST4.
Back to this picture. Back to this beautiful picture. See
The
these?
picture's
See
not
these
up,
pelvic
Kelsey.
nerves? That are coming? Oh. Share
There you
this
go.
tab. Share this tab. There we go. So, do you see all this? You see these pelvic nerves that are coming out of here? They go into the pudendal and the splachnic nerves.
Splachnic.
Splachnic. Oh, God, I love that name.
That's
sorry,
fun.
just makes me so very happy.
It sounds like something from Star Trek. Splachnic.
Splachnic. It does kind of, doesn't it? Oh, that's so funny. And you know, it's really funny. You guys know this, but Cora and I were talking about this for the past hour or so. I tweaked my back again today. I haven't tweaked it this bad in, God, it's been years since I've tweaked it this back. I don't even know what I did. And now I'm feeling so much nicer about it. Like it feels more calm. I had some ice on there. We did the tapping stuff and the stretching. Oh my gosh, I feel really lovely right now. Winning indeed. Oh, it's so interesting. I've been doing a lot of tutoring lately, and one of the things that I've noticed with quite a few of the people I've talked to is that there's so much concern or fear or disappointment or issues around writing exams. Right? And I remember that. Granted, I'm a freak, and I decided a long time ago when I was in high school that I liked taking exams. I got to tell you this story because it comes back to this whole, like, your body is going to move in the way that you move it, but you have to be gentle about it, right? Well, I did mine out of spite. I'm sorry. I'm hijacking for a moment. I'm so sorry. When I was in high school, actually, I think it was grade 8. Yeah, I think it was grade 8. I didn't feel like I knew anything. I felt kind of dumb. I didn't feel very smart. I felt, especially in like things like math and stuff, and I was always nervous about tests and all this stuff. And then I got made fun of. And it sort of triggered this little thing inside of me that was like, well, maybe I'm just going to choose to like this stuff. Right? It's oh, you spend so much time studying and yet you don't get good grades. What are you, stupid or something? And I'm just like, It did not sit well in my little justice soul. And then in high school, because I started actually getting better grades because I just decided I was going to actually like school and like learning and like taking tests. And in high school, I ended up being part of the stoner crowd. I don't know how that happened because I really wasn't, but that's the crowd I ended up in. The theater kids and the stoner crowd, that was my people. And they all hated school. And I had this obsession with being rebellious against the things that were around me. They all dressed punk. I dressed goth. They all didn't want to study and didn't care about school. I studied my friggin' heart out and I wanted to learn. They didn't want to learn. I wanted to learn. I don't know what it is inside of me that makes me like this. I'm sure it's something from early childhood and there's a trauma there I haven't addressed. That doesn't matter. But it's actually, for me, it is that controversial, like, back and forth. Do you remember probably 10 years ago, maybe 9 years ago? Actually, it could have been sooner. I hated teaching the autonomic nervous system. Hated it. You remember? And the muscles of the face?
Yep.
Yeah. I remember you particularly said something to me, and Jen B, she also said something to me that was just like, well, maybe you're just not meant to. So now I know it inside out and backwards. And I enjoyed the process because I made that decision to enjoy it out of spite. Spite is a great motivator for me. right? As long as it's motivating me in a positive way. You've seen me talk myself out of motivating myself in a negative way with spite. That's not for this channel. But it is that thing. It is your brain has the capability to make alterations in how your body functions.
It sure does. Yep.
And I find it really cool.
And I love that you worked it out that way. Like, because I see so many people that are like, oh, I can't do this. And then they don't. And so finally, I kind of just started calling them out on it. And it's like, yeah, no, you can't. And they're like, well, why would you say that? I'm like, because you've decided. I'm not going to try to convince you otherwise. You've decided. You've already decided your fate. And that's what it is. You switch that,
you can.
Then you can do it. I have faith in you that you can do it. I know that you can, but you're setting your own limitation.
I know how the brain works.
Yeah. And then most of the time it actually worked. And there was a turnaround after that, after I agreed with them, because it threw them off. Like, what? But
you're not supposed to say that.
It's not you. But yeah.
You're supposed to encourage me. Right? And there's a difference between encouraging someone who is on that path already, who is wanting that path, but encouraging someone who is already rejecting that path, who has flat out inside of themselves rejected that path. It's holy shoot. It's super difficult.
Because they don't want to hear it.
And that's coming from teaching, years and years of teaching and tutoring now. I have one girl, we sat down this past week and I was just like, you know what? We got to stop thinking about how you're going to remember this for an exam, right? Who gives a crap about the exam? If you fail the exam, guess what? You can take it again. Right? And if you can't take it there, believe me, someone will let you take it if you spend enough money. And money is a thing you can keep getting.
Well, and all
right? It's just hold on, let me finish this. Sorry, and it was just that moment. Like I saw the eyes, like the light in her eyes, go. I can just learn this because I want to learn it. As soon as that happened, she was like, "Oh my gosh, I feel like I could possibly do this, even with the headaches, because it's something I would want to do, not just have to do."
And with that too, like. It's another thing too. Is like, so what if you fail? What? Because fail. I just like we took a course as a family a couple of years back, and what his acronym for fail was a first attempt in learning. And so that's always what I think about. It's only actually a fail if you don't learn from it. If you accept defeat, that's when a fail is a fail. Other than that, failure does not exist unless you let it happen.
You're just pre-successful.
Yeah. It's just, you're just learning and it's okay. Everybody, and those failures, those mistakes, those setbacks, if you learned a lesson from them, they're worth it. They're part of your journey.
Definitely part of your journey then. Right? And of course, we are not speaking on behalf of people who have disabilities when it comes to learning, right? We're not speaking like saying all you have to do is believe. Right? I have extreme anxiety. I have extreme anxiety issues. I am thankfully medicated and the medication is currently working. I have anxiety issues. So sometimes, it's really, really difficult to learn. And sometimes I just can't do it because my brain just can't. And it's no fault of mine, no fault of the learning, no fault of the system, no fault of anything. It's just, I don't have enough things in my brain to let me do it. My brain is saying, you're going to do this now, and that's all you can do. Right? But alongside that is the ability to recognize that process, honor that part of you, and don't allow that to become your whole identity and your whole being. Because it is a part of you and you have to honor that part of you, but you can also honor the part of you that wants to learn or that wants to go for this thing, right? Or that wants to start that business. You can honor the things. And we got away from the vagus nerve
a lot
completely. But it's also about honoring, putting yourself back into the state of rest, and digest. You need that state. And the vagus nerve is your best route to get there.
And you looped back. Look at that.
Years of being a teacher, you always know how to loop it back to the topic. So funny. I love it. So yeah, I don't know. I want to show you. I'm just going to go back to this for 2 seconds. I wanted to show because I don't seem to be breaking up as bad right now, but the vagal stimulation section has some information here on electrical vagal nerve stimulation, which has actually been approved in cases like epilepsy and depression. And it's a big study point. It's one of the biggest study points is actually electrically stimulating. Now, I know that kind of goes away from what I had said before on the sense of if you physically mess with the nerve, but when I say physically mess with it, I mean just crush it, right? Or put pressure on it. Electrical stimulation is actually working with what the nerve does in its normal state, sending electrical signals. So there's that one on here. It's a great read. There's the non-invasive stuff on here as well. So exercise, breathing, diet, probiotics, cold water. There's the cold water. Tapping, gargling, laughing, the massage, and then it goes into the wandering vagus nerve. It's such a really interesting study or compilation of the studies that have been going on for the past, maybe not even 5 years.
I love that.
Yeah. So I really hope you guys take that the opportunity to read that study or that section that has all the studies. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's also like full-on continuing education courses for vagus nerve.
Yeah. Oh man, I wish Delia was here right now. She has one that she's planning on going to, and it's pretty close to Saskatchewan. Yeah? I don't remember where she said it was. Oh,
I might have to look into that.
Yeah, I'll talk to her and see if she knows where that is, because it'd be close to where you are right now, which should be fantastic. Yeah, we really love nerves.
She does. I like the muscles. I like what the nerves do. She loves how they work.
I love it. Oh my gosh, how they work. Speaking of which, in the fall, I will be hopefully doing through CMODA. So if any of you are CMODA, I will hopefully doing a whole 3-hour seminar specifically on how nerves work. Not what they do, not where they go, how they actually work at the cellular level.
You want to learn from her. She's amazing.
I freaking love this stuff. This coming July, Cora is doing one. So if you're with CMODA and you haven't signed up yet, she's doing the knee, the hip, the shoulder. Why can't I remember these things?
We have lists.
The shoulder, it is not exclusive to CMODA. So if you want to, you can still go to CMODA's website and sign up. Of course, it's going to be a little bit more expensive if you're not with CMODA. Otherwise, you could just come to one of ours when we do it on through our site, which we do usually once a month, sometimes twice a month, depending on what's going on. But yeah, do you want to show them? Do you want to show them our new thing?
I do.
That we did.
I do. That's why I was a little bit late coming back. So we got a thing in the mail that Chelsea and I were working on for a bit.
For a long while.
Oh no.
Oh no, the sunlight.
There we go.
Our book! We got our books in. They are now available to purchase through the website. We've already sold a few of them, so we're going to have to purchase more soon.
It's a thing. They're going fast.
The myofascial cupping with silicone cups specifically, and our very, very specific belief. I'm using the word specific too much.
Opinion.
With our opinion, our personal major opinion that the cupping itself should not be leaving long-lasting bruises and marks on the skin. So it's got all of that in the pictures, and it's got the
step-by-steps protocols.
Yeah, thank you. The step-by-steps, the routines. There we go. The routines that we've specifically developed, they are really handy. There's the placement routines. There's the basic dynamic cupping, and then there's the advanced dynamic cupping that's on there as well. So it's all there for you. In future iterations, we might add the lymphatic stuff in there as well, while we are playing around with the blue cups. That's quite fun.
Me too.
Do you have anything to say? Sorry, I just bowl
It's
over.
okay. No, it's really, this is also a really good addition, or it's a really good complement to the myofascial course, or myofascial cupping course. We actually have one July 21st. If you are wanting to book June 21st, just jokes. It is June today, not July. Apparently, I'm like,
it is June. We do have one in July as well, but it's cupping 2.
Yes, we do have one in July also. And also in August, cupping 1 and 2 in August.
Yeah.
So
if anybody is interested, you're welcome to join us. Of course.
Yeah, our sign up, our cutoff will be next week. So if you want to get in now.
Yeah. Then if you want to wait till August, if that gives you a little bit more time, wait till August. We'll be happy to have you.
Double whammy if you want.
Yeah. We'll have our laminated stuff ready for that. Oh my gosh, I gotta get to work on the second cupping 2 pictures. The pictures, the visuals. So exciting. With the extra visuals. I know we already have a bunch of visuals, but like the extra stuff that we want. My dog is whining because your dog is barking, and it is hilarious.
Yeah, somebody's riding their bike across the street.
Oh, how dare they?
Yeah, he is like,
how dare they?
Like, he's like the Lion King, you know? Everything the light touches, they own.
Yeah.
Everything he sees, he owns.
Oh, it's so funny. I love that. Oh my gosh. Well, this was a lot of fun. This was much better than our botched up one last week. I'm so very glad we got to redo this one. But yeah, I was thinking we both have some ideas of what we want to do over the next couple of these particularly. I was thinking one of these ones I'd like us to do just one blend, one essential oil blend, so that people can see sort of what it's going to be like when we do our online course about blending, like our live webinar. And then you said the sacral and lumbar plexuses, which I think would be fun. I don't know them as well as I know the brachial plexus. I know that one the best out of all of them. But it would be fun.
It'd be so fun. Like, I love the lumbar plexus. It's probably my favorite plexus because of its relationship with the psoas.
Yeah.
I love it so much. I love it so much. It's my favorite.
I hate it.
I love it.
But because of its relationship with the psoas.
Well,
you love the psoas in every
so
form.
much. And it earns its name, you know, it's a psoas.
It's such an yep. Also, for anybody who's already part of the guest membership, or if you're interested in the guest membership, it is free. We are looking at, for the guest and the insider and the partner memberships, we want to do some free mini webinars. We always do, every once in a while, we'll do a free mini webinar in the community pages. And we want some ideas of what you guys want. Right? Last time we did the brachial plexus and we did the radial nerve. Yeah, we want some ideas. Where do you want us to go, and what do you want us to talk about in those? If you don't choose, we're going to choose, and if it's me choosing, it's probably going to be a nerve.
Just say it.
Or the integumentary system, or possibly hormones. Those are my favorite thing to talk about. If it's her, the heart, muscles, those are two big ones.
Probably muscles.
Muscles and the heart. You love the heart. You love the circulatory system.
I enjoy the circulatory system a lot. It makes me happy.
Crazy girl.
I don't know. I like the straightforward system. Like, I like the systems that I can kind of like see. I guess Like I like the ones that you can like,
That makes sense.
follow in a cadaver. You know, you can't follow.
You can follow nerves.
Yeah.
You can follow
And
nerves.
I like
in a
their
cadaver.
pathway, and I like what they do. But you can't see the chemical signals that are doing their thing. You can see the digestive juices. It's liquid. Just say it.
You can see the nerve stuff if you look on the nerves of a giant squid.
Okay, there you go.
And stimulate it with electrodes.
Speaking of nerves, I was watching Alone with my man, and he Alone. Yeah, it's
like the TV show.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so basically they're out in the bush and they have to survive with what they have with them, right? This guy caught a fish and he had the heart and he pushed it and the heart just contracted, and then he pushed it again and the heart contracted, and it was like, I'm so glad that he thought to show that on camera because it was the most cool thing. I think it was like in season 2, and he was just like,
okay, I'll look for it.
He was an amazing person. Like, kudos to him for how long he stayed on. But yeah, he's like, oh, look at the heart, and he pushes it. He's like, oh, that's probably how it pumps, hey? And I'm like, yeah, that's how it pumps.
Gosh, that's how it pumps, man. You basically just did the SA node and the AV node jobs.
No, yeah, he's like, this is how CPR works. That's what he said. He's like, this is how first aid CPR probably works. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, but then you need to get oxygen in there too.
Yeah.
Which is why you blow. Oh my gosh. Why do we talk about like crazy random things that make me think about these things? So for the longest time, I could not figure out why do we blow in? We're just blowing carbon dioxide until I understood partial pressures. Because every breath you blow out has some oxygen in it, and nitrogen and carbon dioxide. I did not know that for the longest. I took being out of school and doing research in that area before teaching that stuff and like doing extra classes for me to be like, oh, like I had to do extra learning to be able to figure that out. It took me forever to get the respiratory system.
That's valid. I was like that with the muscle contractions thing. It actually took crash course for me to get the sliding filament theory. I had to envision actinomycin as Romeo and Juliet, and they're just looking for that star-crossed kiss. And I was like, it makes so much sense. Because and then it's a pulling, and I guess, but that's actually what it took before I memorized it, and I didn't understand it, but I memorized it, and I could get by, and I knew the steps, I could tell you what was happening, but it actually took crash course for me to actually understand it, and that was like, 3 years after graduation.
I loved teaching that in person because if you had enough people or at least enough objects, you could literally make the Z discs. You could make the whole sarcomere, and you could get them to hand over hand over hand over hand, grab the other people and pull them in. And it was so cool.
I remember
we were able to do that.
Yeah, I remember this.
Oh, God, I love that kind of learning.
That might be a good webinar.
Yeah, that could be a fun webinar, actually. I could probably get a top-down camera and do it.
Yeah, you could.
I could probably do that for the nerves, too. Because we did that for the nerves, too.
I still remember you, like, telling the students to go running and, like, shutting the door on their faces because it was a closed gate and they needed a thing to, like, open the channel. I remember that, actually, very clearly.
No. Yeah. So most people remember us doing that, but they won't always remember why we did that.
That's fair.
But it is kind of fun. I love it. It makes me happy. Okay. Well, this was phenomenal. I'm gonna go and eat some Taco Bell. I know I'm obsessed with Taco Bell right now. For like the past few months, I've been obsessed with Taco Bell. No, I'm not pregnant. I know. Immediately, your face was like, "What's going on?" I'm super obsessed with Taco Bell right now.
My niece was obsessed with Taco Bell too. She's like, she wanted a good to go, so that's what she wanted for years. And we didn't have a Taco Bell here, so when we went to Winnipeg, there was a Taco Bell, and so we got a picture of her all muscly for a Taco Bell. She's so excited. She's holding her good to go, and then we have her recording the bite. She was so disappointed. She's like, Taco Time's better. And then she hasn't asked for Taco Bell since. She was so so sad.
That's so
She's been
cute.
waiting and waiting for a bite of Taco Bell.
Oh, God, that's adorable. I love that so much.
She was like 7.
Right? And there's another example of the brain doing its magic because the brain hyped it up so much and had something to compare it to, so that when the taste buds, the gustatories, brought it up, the hype, it never hypes something up that much. It'll almost always let you down.
Yep. That's a thing.
That's why they say never meet your heroes. That's the saying, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, unless they're Keanu Reeves.
I was just gonna say, I saw James Marsters, and it was like the highlight. He's like, he's my first crush. And then when I saw the picture after, he's trying to be Spike, but he's not Spike anymore. Like he can't.
No, he's not Spike anymore. But that's
So
okay.
I look at the picture still, and like he's trying to be 30 again.
Oh man, to be 30 again.
Oh, I don't know, man. I'm excited to get older. I'm excited to grow old.
I'm still looking forward to 50. I am. I just wish I had my back from when I was 30.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. All right. Well, we should end this. We've almost gone an hour, which is the longest we've done in a little while. It's quite cool. We love this stuff, though. So yeah, let us know in the comments whether we repost this guy. Let us know what you guys want to see in the little webinars in the community. Let us know what you want to see in these, because we want to do what you guys want. Otherwise, we're probably just going to keep talking about nerves.
Maybe.
Okay, we'll talk about whatever comes up.
Or just tangents.
Well, all the tangents, always tangents.
We need focus, you guys.
So thank you so much once again for joining us. Again, we are just massage therapists, and these are just our thoughts and our opinions. Have a fantastic evening, and we will see you in the next week.